City of Ottawa staff recently released their climate resiliency strategy. The city describes the strategy, which they've branded as Climate Ready Ottawa, as the overarching plan to adapt and build resilience to changing climate conditions and to achieve the goal of a climate resilient Ottawa by 2050. So why should you care? According to climate projections published by staff in 2020, average annual temperatures will rise by 1.8 degrees Celsius by the 2030s and 3.2 degrees Celsius by the 2050s. In the 2030s, we'll get 28 days per year that will exceed 30 degrees Celsius. That's up from 11 days per year right now, and we'll get 43 of these kind of days in the 2050s. We're more likely to get severe weather like heat waves, wildfires, severe winds, and ice storms. This means threats to everything from human to animal health, infrastructure, and services. It also means additional costs. Staff report notes, extreme weather response and recovery cost the city more than $35 million between 2017 and 2023. So what is the city doing about these threats? That is exactly what the climate resiliency strategy is all about. The strategy identifies 4 priority areas: communities, infrastructure, natural environment, and extreme weather. For each of these areas, it identifies top risks, long-term objectives, and short-term actions to address these risks. Under resilient communities, for example, top risks include things like heat stress and dehydration, West Nile and Lyme disease, and poor air quality from wildfire smoke. The strategy's objectives include protecting from extreme heat, preparing for flooding, building community capacity, and supporting a resilient economy. There's an action plan to implement the objectives of the 4 priority areas. One example of an action is to expand flood preparedness and awareness to homeowners, businesses, and vulnerable groups. Another example of an action is to increase cooling options across the city. So that includes things like splash pads, misting stations, and shade trees, especially in neighborhoods most in need. So how much does this plan cost? Staff have asked for $25 million over 5 years. In a city budget of $6.84 billion, it only makes up a small sliver of it. Yet it's critical that these funds get approved. What's more, investing in climate resiliency is a huge return on investment. Environment and Climate Change Canada have stated that every dollar spent on climate adaptation means $13 to $15 in avoided indirect and direct costs. So what's next? City Council's Environment and Climate Change Committee already approved the plan in October, so all that remains is for Council to approve it on November 12th. If you support the plan, write to your councillor. In particular, tell them to fund the plan in the upcoming budget, because a plan is only as good as it's funded.